I'm Chris Smith. I'm a property investment consultant and I source property deals across the UK, of course, which we want to manage as well. So, investors, or especially first time investors looking into the market, and you want to browse different areas and to see where your money works best for you. I've been sourcing property deals for the last 10 years of when I left the military. So, they use this YouTube channel. I highlight property deals within this channel. It is a buyer's market at the moment, especially now we're approaching August. The rates are quite high on the mortgage deals. So it is a buyer's market. And in this clip, I'm going to be highlighting properties, a few property deals that are well under market value. These are properties as well that are completed, tenanted, and generating a high return as well. Let's crack straight on with this YouTube clip. Before we kick on with property option number one that I picked out for the month of August, I firstly want to say a big congratulations to the investors that have acquired and purchased property, especially from my last YouTube clips, especially the student properties that we sold. A big congratulations to the investors that have secured them. Already tenanted, generating a high return. So I think that's good business all round, and including the Livham site as well. We had a site in Livham, not far from Blackpool, that launched a week or so ago. 7 apartments in total, and they all sold out in the same day that we launched. So a big congratulations to those investors that got involved, and we look forward to managing those apartments for you on the short-term letter services that we provide. So yeah. Kicking straight on with our property pick out number one for the month of August. Now, this particular deal, there's 3 properties in total. So we're selling this as a bulk deal. It's 3 apartments situated in Stockton-on-Tees, or more prominently known as Stockton. Now, the area itself, it's right next door to the town of Middlesbrough as well, if you're not too familiar on the area. It's in the northeast part of the UK. Now, the area itself, it does boast a lot of festivals. For example, you've got the Riverside Festival, you've got the Cyclist Festival, you've got the fireworks show as well. It runs a lot of festivals every single year, all year round. So that does ring alarm bells that short-term lets may work in this area. Now, we don't manage properties in this area, but it's something that it's an industry that we could potentially tap into together once you acquire the property. Now, the properties themselves, there's 2 one-bedroom apartments and there is 1 two-bedroom apartments. Now, they're being sold all together and the seller wants a cash buyer. Now, the value is £115,000. Yes, you've got that right. It's £115,000 for all 3 of them. Now, in terms of market value, it's around sort of £150,000, £160,000 is what they're actually worth. If you look at one-bedroom apartments, they sell between sort of 55 upwards of £60,000. And 2 beds just over around sort of £65,000, £70,000. So it's quite a cheap market. It's had a lot of investment as well in the Stockton area in terms of the city centre itself. You're getting a new Hilton Hotel that's being built. There's a new 10,000 homes scheme that's being built in terms of the outskirts of Stockton itself. And as I mentioned, the home buying rate for first-time buyers and the owner rate in Stockton-on-Tees, it boasts one of the highest in the country. Of course, it's because of the values. Of course, you're not going to find this in London, are you? The home owner rate is quite low in London compared to somewhere like this in Stockton. So in terms of property prices themselves, you can't find any lower. So it is a market where we're very careful, to be honest. Like, you've got Burnley, that's another area where you can find terraced houses for like £50,000, £60,000. It is quite cheap, but we've got to be careful in terms of the tenant that you're taking on at this price, because 9 times out of 10, when you are looking at these values or cheap values, we've got to be careful in terms of the tenant profile that we're taking on. We don't want nightmares on the management side, and I'm sure you don't want any nightmares in terms of the property getting ruined. Now, this is a site, it's a block itself, so it's not a block of 3 apartments, it's a block of around 15 apartments in total. As you can see from the picture, all apartments come with their own individual parking as well, so you will own a parking space with each apartment. So that's 3 parking spaces with them. And yeah, it's already tenanted. The tenants in there, as you can see from the video, I do apologise about the quality of the videos. We got the tenants to do the videos for us, you see. But it gives you an idea of how they're living, the cleanliness of them. They're quite modern. They was built and completed back in 2019, and they've been rented ever since. Now, the rents, if we're to look at that, you're looking at an overall net return of £9,800, which is equivalent of around sort of 8.5, 8.6% net return. So if you buy these cash, £115,000, you're getting £9,800 net profit after management fees after service charges. There's no ground rents with this site either, and you've still got a good length lease on it as well of 246 years left. And because it's newly built in 2019, it will again come with all the build warranties as well. You know, most new builds now come with 10-year build warranties, which will be provided to you through the solicitors. Now, the big idea with this, now, the guy who's selling it, if you recall, I did a YouTube video last month on the site in Lytham, the 7 apartments. And we've got a lot of sites now with this guy that we're moving on in the northwest area. He's typically moving on sort of holiday let type of properties, converting them and putting them on holiday lets in the northwest. And by clear sign, he needs money to keep funding these projects. So he's offloading these sites. Now, we were quite cheeky. We put £110,000 in, is what the valuation that we came up to for an investment purpose, of course, for it to make sense for an investor. And he's come back with 115. So we're quite shocked anyway that he agreed at that sort of a low price, because he could quite easily demand £150,000 for all 3 apartments. If you're looking at the slides that I'm showing you on Rightmove now, you can see those are the typical values for these type of apartments. Now, you don't need to do anything in terms of the management. There's a management team already lined up. They charge 10% of the management fee. But I feel like the big idea with this and what you guys should be looking at doing with this is there's 3 apartments in total. The rents really haven't been updated since 2021, 2022. We all know the rents have shot up through the roof because of the mortgage rates. So there's an opportunity there to increase the rents. And if you was to do it right now with what the rents are in that area, which vary between £400 and £450 a month for a 1-bed. Even for a 2-bed, you could probably demand 475, 500. This means total rents of £15,000, which would give you a sort of a net of around £11,000, £12,000 off the top of my mind, just doing the figures there. So there's an opportunity to increase that yield. So you're looking at around sort of 10% net. Realistically, is what you'd be looking at. But what I will say with this is there's a chance to also look at leveraging, raising finance. So yes, buying it cash now, but giving it 6 to 12 months down the line, and you then get a chance to release 75%, which of course they'll do it on the full valuation. You get a survey report, you get a full valuation. They do it on all 3 apartments, which will give you around the 150 mark. You would then release 75% of that £150,000, which I can't, just top of my head, don't know what that is, and then move on to the next investment, which you'd leave a very minimal amount of money down on the property, because you'll be revaluation of the 75%, or pulling out 75% out of £150,000, not 115. There's an opportunity there for you to do that 6 to 12 months after the ownership of these apartments. They're not massive apartments, but they're reasonably sized. The buy-to-let restriction is 35 square metres, and they're all well above that anyway. So you've not got any problems in terms of, we can't see any issues with the finance method. You know, there's no ground rent issues or anything like that. Service charges are quite low, around the £700 mark. You pay that per year. But yeah, quite a simple cash investment on 3 apartments. If I had the money myself, I'd be having a look at this one myself, because it's generating anywhere between 8 and 9% net right now anyway, without finance or any mortgage worries. Or you could simply hold on to it, enjoy the returns, and then look at leverage options when them rates come down and calm down, which they will eventually. We all know they will eventually. The second option with this property deal is to use, if you look at Airbnb now, the nightly rates vary from £65 as the cheapest, upwards of £80, £95 a night in this particular area. But you're getting a lot of hotels. As I mentioned, they're building a new Hilton hotel in there, which again is a good sign for the area. But you're getting B&Bs and hotels for that type of rate. Now, for self-catering, self-contained apartments, you're not getting a room and a bathroom, are you? You're getting a full property. Even if you was to do this at £50 a night, you're more than doubling, maybe tripling what you could potentially earn. I mean, if give you an idea, if you rented this property out on a nightly basis and you've got tenants in there for 9 days or 9 nights out of a full month, you would probably generate what you generate on a traditional let. That's to give you an idea of what the potentiality of this is. Even 50% occupancy, 60% occupancy, you'd be flying right up there in terms of your returns. So the scope to do that now, because all 3 apartments are tenanted, there is one apartment that's a bit below in times. It's been tenanted since 2021. I think you're getting a net return of £3,000 on that one, whereas with the other 2, you're getting £4,800 net return. So with this particular one, that's a little bit behind the times in terms of the rental increases. There's a potentiality to get this one vacant, one of the flats, one of the 1-beds, and move one of them onto Airbnb or short-term lets. Obviously, just see how the performance goes. So you're not all in all three apartments and short-term lets, and then hoping and praying on occupancy rates. Yeah, use one apartment, see how you get on with it. If there's great returns happening, move on to the second, move on to your third option. But not just the levering options, the return potentiality of it is fantastic as well. And if you're looking at Stockton in terms of an area for short-term lets, you've got all the festivals. You've got the Riverside Festival, you've got Cycling Festival, Fireworks Festival, as I mentioned, and they run all year round. They bring in thousands of people into that area, and buying at such a cheap value like this and acquiring free full apartments, already tenanted at such a cheap price, £115,000. Obviously, it's a great deal, and it's the reason why I've posted it as my first property pick out for this month. But yeah, if you want full details on this property pick out, let me know at the end of the clip, option number one, and I'll send you full information. All right, let's kick on to the second one. So moving on to our second property pick out for the month of August. This is going to be my final option for this month, and that I'm going to recommend for you to have a look into. And these are two properties, two one-bedroom apartments, completed, vacant as well. There was a conversion of 26 apartments, and we've got two apartments readily available to cash buyers. Now, we've done a bit of a deal on the price. We've got one bed, £83,000, and we've got another one bed at £88,000. I'm going to show you videos of what these apartments look like. Really well finished. And they're situated in the area of Rotherham. Now, if you don't know where that is, it's a town centre situated just on the outskirts of Sheffield. I mean, it's a 15-minute, 20-minute drive from Rotherham into Sheffield itself anyway. But Rotherham itself has received a lot of investment. Back in 2021, they got £31 million just to bring the city centre back into the 21st century in terms of how it looks. But the big factor, I think, to take away from this is it's right next to the Advanced Manufacturing Business Park. There's over 40 businesses in that business park, which is a 5-minute drive away from where these apartments are. You've got BAE Systems, you've got Airbus on there as well, Rolls-Royce, and you've got many more companies on there as well, which I'll be highlighting in this YouTube clip. Now, the property is vacant. If you want to buy it as it is, and rent it out, you're probably looking at rentals of between £600 and £650 per calendar month. Again, with this property, there's no ground rents with the lease. As you're all aware, we had a massive lease reform within the government where ground rents are no longer charged, which is, of course, a breath of fresh air for all of us that do look at apartments. There's no ground rents to be paid. The ground rents, the service charge, is around £600 to £700. You pay that per year, but that's the only running cost in regards to these apartments. So similar with the one I mentioned in Stockton. Now, the service charges are audited every single year, so we know as a management team where every pound is being spent. And we know with leases what basically do's and don'ts. So things we don't get involved in, things we don't touch, like doubling and tripling service charges per year. These are the type of leases we just don't want to touch. And the lease has got to allow flexibility in how you let it. So similar to Stockton and these apartments in Rotherham, the lease doesn't prohibit you doing short-term lets. So this is something that you can look at doing with ourselves or our management partner, My Property Host. Now, My Property Host have already got sites in this area called in Rotherham. They're operating at 83% occupancy rate in this area. So again, because we've used them for the last 8 or 9 years, we've partnered up with them as a management team on short-term lets. It gives us a good, experience in that area of what they're achieving. So 83% occupancy, and they're charging nightly rates of above £80, £85 a night. We've forecasted on this around £60, £65 a night, because like with all our investors, we do like to be conservative and show you what a bottom line income would be. So even on 60-65% occupancy rate, on £60-65 a night, you're still looking at a 10% net return roughly. I mean, short-term lets isn't something, it's not everyone's cup of tea, I understand that. But there's an idea there for you to capitalise on bigger rental incomes for a cash investment, which will bring your return right above the 10% net. And that's on a low occupancy. These rates and nightly rates can shoot right up to 13-14% net return, where you're getting over £1,000 a month in terms of rental income profit. So yeah, if not, you can just simply rent it out as it is, £600 a month or £650 a month, and take in that rental income with no ongoing costs other than the management fee, which would be roughly £60 a month. If we look at the 10% management fee. So yeah, these are 2 apartments situated in a good area that's just had backing in terms of funding. Over £30 million they've got in terms of revamping and redeveloping the city centre. You're right next to a business park and Sheffield itself. The area, you've got all sort of green lands and green parks. That's quite attractive on the eye to go and visit as well. Not too far away from these apartments there. But of course, you've got the Peak District National Park, which is, of course, you get a lot of cyclists, dog walkers, and a lot of visitors to that as well. So, yes, the aim is serviced accommodation, but you are likely to, again, get those holiday let bookings through the door as well for the odd week and weekend bookings. So yeah, a good investment property. It's ready to go, completed, got all the build warranties as well because it's brand new. There's no sort of hefty service charges where they double and triple every year. They're audited every single year, just like the one in Stockton, where we can see where every pound is being spent, and you, the investor. So if you're interested in these quick sort of deals, cash deals, option 1 or 2, get your information across to me on email, which I'll share with you in a moment. Now, I do want to touch on one final property deal, and I'm quite shocked that it's not yet off the market. It's if you've watched my previous YouTube video, this is an apartment situated in Hull city centre. It's on the market for £157,000. Now, previous from my YouTube video, I have had a few offers on the table from starting price £145,000, and we've got a bit of a stalemate at the moment at the £150,000 mark. The seller, although it's on the market for £157,000, is happy to take 153, 154,000. I've not tested the water on 153, but I assume he'd take it if he's already said to me that he'll take 154,000 for it. As you can see from the pictures, beautiful property, already tenanted. It's generating £900 a month. It's a property that you can finance immediately. It's not necessarily ready for a cash buyer. If you want a cash, buy it through finance. It's completely up to you. But it's a ready to go property. The tenant's in there until March, and we can move quite swiftly onto short term lets. We've actually already employed people in Hull area and in the northeast, now like Wakefield, where we've had sites. If you've been included in these videos. But yeah, beautiful property, can be financed and ready to go. I'm quite shocked it's still on the market. Maybe it is at that sort of peak in terms of interest rates for buy-to-let investors, but you can swiftly move on to short-term lets. So I hope you've enjoyed the video clip, guys, and all the property options that I've showcased on this clip. Option 1, 2, or 3, and especially the whole one that might go quite soon because we've got the offers up to sort of 150. The seller wants 154. We might be able to get him at that 153. The problem is he's not in any rush, and he knows that if it doesn't sell, we can manage it on short-term lets like we are doing with the rest of the apartments in that area. So yeah, if you do want to contact me or you want full information on option 1, 2, or 3, contact me on email chris.smith@propertyinvestmentcontact.com. Click me, just tell me your option that you're interested in, your number and name, and I can get all the full information across to you. Or maybe you've got questions, feel free to fire them across. But yeah, we're in the month of August. I might not be able to do another video this month. We're all booking holidays, aren't we, for our children? It's cost me an absolute fortune this month to book holidays for all 6 of us, so I might not be able to do a video. We'll see how we get on. But yeah, hope you all enjoy the summer. Do click a like and a subscribe. If you do subscribe, I can keep in touch every single month and you'll be alerted on all the property deals that I'm showcasing on these video clips. But yeah, hope you enjoy, guys. Speak soon. Enjoy the holiday.